Welcome to Delta MV Insight Bites. I'm On, consultant at Delta MV, and this is Andrew, our consulting director. We all know that email is an important way to engage with doctors. However, recently we've heard a lot of negative feedbacks from doctors about the emails that they have been receiving from the pharma companies. Are we killing the goose that lays the golden eggs? What is happening with emails in pharma, and how can we protect these key channels? Can you share a little bit with us, Andrew?
Email marketing has become the norm in the pharma industry, and there is an even greater focus brought on by the pandemic. However, we all know that email fatigue is real. There is such a thing as too many emails. When it's done well, email can be very effective at delivering information and engaging doctors, but too many emails can actually have the opposite effect. Imagine you're a GP and you're receiving emails about many different therapeutic areas, many different brands. It can all be a bit overwhelming. We spoke with one doctor in Vietnam who said that they were receiving up to 30 emails in a given week.
Wow, 30 emails is a lot. I can never read that.
Yeah, me neither. And to be honest, most of those emails are going unread. They're just going straight to junk or the delete folder.
So, Andrew, I know you have been doing some research about this recently. Can you share a little bit with us?
Yeah, so as I said, we've been speaking to doctors across the APAC region in about 6 different countries, including places like Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia. And we talked to a broad range of doctors, so oncologists or preventative health, GPs even. And we wanted to understand the types of emails that they've been receiving, as well as ask them to share some examples of different emails from pharma companies, both good ones and bad ones. And it was really interesting because they found this exercise a bit challenging.
Like, why? Why is it challenging? I thought it would be fairly simple, right?
You would think so, but they said they actually couldn't remember a good one. So, they had to go through their junk mail, spam folder, pull out different examples. And what it says is really most of these emails are just going ignored.
Wow. But at the end of the day, it's only emails, right? How serious is this for pharma companies?
Well, to be fair, not all pharma companies are doing a bad job at emails. Some companies are quite innovative, they're rethinking their strategy and delivering more tailored content to doctors. But what we've also noticed is there's some differences between markets in terms of the frequency of emails being sent. So if you look at a country like Australia, doctors are actually receiving relatively few emails. And what this means is they're actually reading them. If you contrast this with a country like Vietnam, it's a totally different story.
Oh, like the doctors with 30 emails a week that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, exactly like that doctor. So some of these doctors in Vietnam are just bombarded or overwhelmed with emails from pharma companies. And oftentimes it's not just one stream of emails from pharma companies, but multiple streams.
Wait, multiple streams. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, they could be getting emails from different brands and even different divisions or departments of the company, whether it's sales and marketing material or medical information. All of these emails are piling up, and it's really leading to disengagement with the channel overall.
But I'm sure you came here with some recommendation at last. But how do pharma avoid becoming another spam?
There are some practical steps that pharma companies can take. First, they need to get personalization right. One doctor shared with us that oftentimes the emails from pharma companies address them by their first and last name. Clearly, this is being sent from a CRM because no one calls them by their first and last name. It feels quite unnatural. Another obvious mistake is spelling the name wrong. This can really upset doctors sometimes.
Yeah, I always get frustrated when people get my name wrong.
Yeah, nobody likes it when that happens. Another practical tip for pharma companies is really to think about email as a series of actionable behavioral steps. First, you need a killer subject line, something that grabs their attention, gets them to open your email, then engaging content to keep them reading with a clear call to action.
Engaging content must be hard to achieve, right? Like, how can we do that?
I mean, it can be hard, but not if you have an understanding of the types of things that doctors are interested in.
So, you're saying that doctors have been getting a lot of emails that aren't very good. Is that, is it time to think about a reset? Is that your point?
Yeah, it's definitely time for a reset. Pharma companies need to make a commitment to doctors in terms of the quality of content that they share in their emails and also around the frequency that they send emails. You might think about a subscription model even. Oftentimes when you sign up for a magazine or a newspaper, you click a box for different interests you might have, whether it's politics, gardening, religion, etc. We could think about using the same approach with doctors.
Like a menu that you can choose from, like Netflix subscription?
Yeah, exactly like that. So that way we know we're sending information to doctors that they want to hear. And as part of that, we can also ask them, how many times do you want to receive email from us? Almost making like a sort of agreement with them.
Yeah, I know in many pharma companies, they have a target number of interactions with doctors.
Yeah, that's right. For many companies, the number of interactions with doctors is actually one of the critical KPIs. I would argue that that's actually the wrong approach. We really need to shift away from quantity of interactions to quality of interactions with a focus on the value of engagement.
That's a great approach. In that way, I think doctors can receive the content that they want. If that is what is happening with emails, how about other channels?
Well, that's what we'll be talking about in the next episode. So, we also did a study to understand how pharma companies are engaging with doctors through messaging apps. So, in the next episode, I'll tell you a little bit more about that, as well as how pharma can avoid making the same mistakes it's made with emails.
This has been Delta MV Insight Bites with me, your host, An and Andrew.
If you'd like to get in touch, just visit our website at www.deltamv.com and drop a note under the contact page.
Thank you.
Thanks.